If you would, tell us what you do.
Right now I work as a paraprofessional at Monroe High School.
Have you always done that?
Before that I worked at Primary Pediatrics
When did you work at Primary Pediatrics?
from August 2020 until last summer.
And what did you do at Primary Pediatrics?
First I worked up front, and then I became a tech, and then I was the lab manager.
So you said you started at Primary Pediatrics in August of 2020, did I hear that right?
Yes.
Let me take your attention to November of 2020, so just a little while later. You were the receptionist at that point?
I was.
And in November of 2020, do you recall a man bringing a small child into the office on the 17th?
Yes, I do.
Okay, tell me what you recall about that.
I remember him bringing him into the office. It was a black African-American male. The little boy was limp in his arms, and he just said he needed some help.
Did he indicate to you what was wrong with the child?
No,
And what did you observe about the child?
he was limp, he was lifeless, wasn't moving. He was in the arms of him.
And what did you do when you saw this?
Called back to the back to get some help, and then called 911.
Well, this is a pediatrics facility. Why would you call 911?
To get help because the child wasn't breathing, he wasn't responsive.
So to get more emergent help? Now, when this male came in, did he say anything to you?
He just said that he needed help.
What was his demeanor like? Was he brushed?
He seemed just, wasn't really concerned. He just was, he brought it, I mean, you could tell that the little boy needed help, but he didn't show any emotion.
And would you happen to remember what he was wearing?
A white tank top or white shirt and khaki shorts, I believe.
So you saw this man bringing an essentially lifeless child in and then called 911?
Yes.
And Ms. Sledge, I want you to think back about anything that this man said to you. Did he tell you who he was, anything like that? Did he say anything about the child falling, anything like that?
He said he was biting him on the ride to the office.
But nothing about him, say, falling on the couch?
Judge, that's a leading question.
The objection's overruled.
Nothing about him falling off the couch or falling down the floor? Nothing further at this time.
Mr. Griggs, chief of the
Just a couple questions, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am, or afternoon. Tell me your last name again.
Ragsdale?
Ragsdale,
Yes.
and you were a Sledge at the time, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you went to work at this Primary Pediatrics August of 2020,
Yes, sir.
so it was, you worked as a receptionist at that place from August until when?
As a receptionist, I was a receptionist about 4 months, and then I moved to the back as a tech.
That as a,
Tech,
what was a tech do?
to pull them back, get their weight, height, and get them prepared for the doctor.
Oh, okay. But on November the 17th, and is that when it was, November the 17th of 2020,
Yes, sir.
had you had any medical training?
To know whenever someone comes in and needs help, yes.
Okay, well, I mean, what training, where did you get your training at?
At Primary Pediatrics.
I mean, you didn't get it from school or from a technical college or anything like that?
No, sir.
So you worked as a receptionist, and I guess by being a receptionist, you acquired knowledge to be able to question people when they came in the front door?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I take it that on this particular day, you don't remember what time of the day it was?
We opened at 8:30, like 8:40-ish.
All right. And this fellow, was his name Karter Ambrose that brought this child in?
No.
Who was the man's name? Keon Benton?
Yes.
Was that his name? Okay. And he brought the child in about 8:40 that morning?
Yes.
Is that right? Did he identify who the child was?
No.
Okay. And as a receptionist, you didn't know what to do. You just called for help. Is that right?
That's correct.
And really, that's all you did.
Yes, sir.
In other words, did someone else in the office ask you to call 911?
No, I knew to call 911.
Oh, okay. How did you know that?
I'm a mom, I would call
Pardon me?
I'm a mom, so I have just instinct to call 911 when you see
Okay, and
something.
how many people were working in the doctor's office that day?
20, 25 people?
Okay, and so you immediately called 911 and then was it Dr. Waters who came up first?
No, it was Dr. Ford.
Dr. Ford?
Yes.
Okay, and did you help administer any tests to the child?
No, I did not.
You just stepped back and called 911?
I stayed at the front and called 911.
Okay. And that's the only connection that you had with this case? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
right? Do you know Miss Davis?
No, sir.
Have you ever seen her before?
No, sir.
Judge, that's all I have, and I thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Witness?
No, Your Honor. She can be excused.
Correct, you may be excused. You're free to go or stay as you wish.
Thank you.
Ms. Baker, how are you employed currently?
I am employed, I'm in the Air National Guard full-time. I work at Primary Pediatrics on Mondays.
Okay, how long have you worked for Primary Pediatrics?
Before I joined the military, I was there 7 years.
7 years. Okay, so did you work there in 2020,
Yes, sir.
in November of 2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you recall on November 17th of 2020, does that date stick out to you at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why?
That is the day that Karter Ambrose came in and we had to call him.
Okay, so what were you doing?
It was the beginning of the morning, so we didn't really start working yet, and it was still kind of at the end of COVID. And then we had a call from the front stating that there was a guy with a lifeless child. So we went out there, me and one of the nurses. So we went out, told him to come back, we put him in a room, went in there, asked the guy, we had to assess what was going on, and then realized that he needed attention fast.
So let me back up. You said that you were in the back?
Yes, so
What were your duties?
So I'm a medical tech.
Okay.
So I usually work with the patients, find out what's going on, get vitals on them,
Okay.
and then put it in the system and let the doctors know what's going on.
Okay. So you're at work this Tuesday morning,
Yes.
just like it's an ordinary day,
Right.
right? Okay. And then you said a man came with a child?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know who that man was?
No, sir.
Okay. Who was the child?
It was Karter Ambrose.
Okay. Did the man know who the child was?
Yes.
Did he provide any of his information?
Any of
Karter's.
Karter's information?
Correct.
He provided the basic information that he knew.
Okay.
We found out that he was a boyfriend of the mom.
Okay. All right. But you didn't really know at that time?
Right.
All that. Okay. So where did you first see Karter?
In the waiting room. Like
Okay.
our doors are right here, but like if you're facing the parking lot, our door's to the left. So that's the Ford hall. So, and when they come in, like he was in the lobby. So he was holding Karter in his arms, and so we directed him to a room.
Okay. You said we directed him to a room?
Me and Casey,
Okay.
the nurse.
Casey, what's Casey's last name? Do you recall her last name?
Hold on, I went blank.
Is it Copper?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you ushered Karter to a room?
Right, correct.
Okay. And how many people went to that room?
So me, Casey, Dr. Robert Ford was in there. There was nurse practitioner, like about 2 nurse practitioners, and another nurse that I recall.
And what was the atmosphere like with everybody in there? What was going on?
Everybody was just working together. I know someone, they were going to get IV so they could start an IV. Dr. Robert Ford was on the table, well, he was listening to him, and then he could tell like there was barely any heartbeat. So he got on the table, started doing compressions. So it was kind of like calm chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would come out, called 911, and they asked for address, phone number, all the basic information, and we were just relaying it back and forth.
So what, I think, did you say Dr. Ford?
Dr. Robert Ford.
Robert Ford, okay. You said, I think, compressions, is that right?
He was doing CPR.
CPR, okay.
They did the shot machine on him.
EKG?
Yeah.
Okay. When you first saw the child, what did he look like?
He was limp, lifeless. The bottom of his feet were like white. There was no color to him, and his eyes were rolled in the back of his head.
And the man who brought him in, did he say anything about the child's situation?
Once we got in the room, he did.
What did he say?
He stated that the night before that he was vomiting, and then he said he gave him a breathing treatment. And he said that, I'm not sure if it was before or after the breathing treatment, that he was bent down on his hand, kind of, I'm assuming like a seizure, he was having a seizure. And then he said before he brought him in, he said that he had a bowel movement.
Had a bowel movement. Did he say the child was throwing up or anything like that?
Yes, that was later or during the night.
Okay. And so you called 911. So did EMS show up?
They,
Now, I know it was a long time ago, but do you recall roughly how long the child was there at Primary Pediatrics receiving care before EMS came?
I would say at least 20 minutes
Okay.
before they arrived.
Nothing further this time around.
Mr. Greer?
Thank you, Honor. Your last name is Baker, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Baker, my name is Jeff Broom. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins, here representing Ms. Davis. Have you ever met Ms. Davis?
I might have seen her passing at the doctor's office, but
Might have seen her where?
possibly at the doctor's office, but I don't personally know.
Okay, and you were there at this pediatric place for, say, 7 years?
Yes, sir.
From when until when?
I started in January of 2013 or 14.
Oh,
And then I was there for 7 years, and then I went to the military, and I recently came back to work. I just work on Mondays.
oh, you worked at this same place on Mondays?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Now, after this event occurred, did someone from one of the doctors from the business there ask you to write up a statement?
Yes, sir. I believe everyone that was there that day wrote a statement, and we sent it.
And you wrote up a statement, did you not?
Yes, sir.
When you met with the district attorney's office recently, you had a chance to go back over this statement, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that you recall in writing the statement that the child was taken, when there was evidence that the child was in a state of distress, that the child was taken to room number 4, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And the child was taken there by this male that brought the child in.
Yes, sir.
In other words, how was he transported?
He was holding him in his arms.
Okay.
So Karter was laying in his arms.
Okay.
And
At any time, did you ever hold the child?
then, no, sir.
At any time, did you ever touch the child?
Probably possibly to get a heart rate, but
Okay.
just the usual vitals.
All right. You had mentioned something earlier about, you say the man said something about the child had a seizure. Is that right?
I'm not saying that he said he had a seizure. I'm saying the details that he provided, it sounded to me like it could have been a possible seizure. I'm not saying that the child did it.
Okay, but you never mentioned that in whatever you wrote.
Like, I just said that the child was biting down on him.
Okay, but nothing about a
No, sir.
seizure.
No, sir.
I mean, there's a difference, is there not, between a child biting down on something and having a seizure. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, I'm not trying to trick you, I'm just trying to
Yes, sir.
see what happened. And Dr. Robert Ford was working with the child, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I guess nurse practitioner Gaddy was there helping Dr. Ford, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Recall?
Yes, sir.
Was Ashley Howard a nurse practitioner?
She's a nurse.
A nurse, registered nurse?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who the other nurse practitioner was?
I believe it was Amy Wood.
All right, you would, okay. And that, did you yourself call 911, or did you instruct Taylor Sledge to call 911?
I myself called 911.
You did, okay. And do you know who you talked to with 911?
I don't remember. No, sir.
And you called 911, and did they put you through to the 911 center that's off Carl Vinson Parkway, or do you know?
I don't know.
I take it at some point in time, then someone, EMS came out, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And do you know where they were from?
No, sir. I don't.
Did you go outside whenever EMS came?
No, sir.
You just stayed in the building, is that
Yes, sir.
right? Did you have, after you called 911, did you really have any other involvement in this matter?
No, sir.
I mean, you weren't asked to do any work that required a technician, is that right?
At that point, no, sir.
And once again, from the time that this man brought the child in until EMS got there was probably about 20 minutes, is that right?
That sounds.
Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I have nothing else. Thank you, Ms. Baker.
And you're a little bit soft-spoken, so if you could speak into that one doesn't work.
No. Goodbye. Kianna Davis, move that, please, so that we quit confusing folks. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Gaddy, if you would, tell us what you do.
I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner at Primary Pediatrics,
And how long have you worked at Primary Pediatrics?
10 years.
And you are a nurse practitioner. Tell me what degrees you have.
All of them? I have several, sorry. So my first degree is in information technology, and then I went back and got my RN, and then returned again for my bachelor's, and returned finally for my master's degree.
So how long have you been a nurse practitioner?
I'm a nurse practitioner of 10 years.
Now, you would have been a nurse practitioner at Primary Pediatrics back in 2020, is that right?
That's correct.
I'm going to turn your attention back to November of 2020. Do you recall on November 17th a child being brought in?
Yes.
And if you would, tell us what you remember.
Okay. On that morning, I was sitting in the office, which was on the back hallway of our office, and around 8:45-ish, I and another nurse practitioner heard a nurse hollering for help. So
When you heard another nurse yell for help, what did you do at that point?
So I left my office and walked to the hallway where she was calling for help from.
And what did you see?
I walked into the room, it was exam room 4 that they had put the baby in. I walked in there, and the nurse, Casey, and Casey was in there assessing the baby, and Amy Wood, who's the other practitioner that was with me, she walked on in there, and Casey said he's unresponsive, we got the doctor. So
I then left the exam room and went to the doctor's offices and asked Dr. Ford's, Jesse and Robert to come into exam room door.
So you ran and got more help.
That's right.
Now, what did you notice about the toddler? You said he was laying lifeless.
Yes, on the exam table, t-shirt and diaper.
And you described him as lifeless, so unresponsive.
That's right.
And after you went to get more help, what happened at that point?
At that point, I started talking with the guy that brought the baby in and trying to get information, birthday, last name, what happened, kind of give us a history while they were working on Karter.
And did he give you any information about himself, who he was, name?
No name, no, he said I'm stepfather.
So he refers to himself as stepfather?
That's right.
And was he able to give you basic information about the child?
No last name, no date of birth. He just said I'm mom's boyfriend. As he told me what happened through the night, he knew that he had breathing problems, but that was the only information I could get from him during that time.
During that time. So you sort of took on a comfort role for him? Okay. And what is going on while you're talking to him?
They're resuscitating Karter.
So they're trying to perform life-saving measures?
That's correct.
While they're trying to perform life-saving measures, the other medical personnel in the office, did the man that you were talking to tell you anything else?
Yeah, I mean, he had told me that Karter had been vomiting all night and that when he went to get him up that morning, that he was in a large amount of vomit and stool. And he knew that he had breathing issues, so he put him on the breathing machine. And as he had Karter on the breathing machine, Karter kept passing out. So he stopped and just brought him into our office because we were close. But on the way, he stated Karter bit me or he was biting me.
Now, was he in the room, was he on the phone with anybody?
He was on FaceTime with Mom.
How were you able to determine who he was on the phone with?
He stated that.
And did you at that point know who Mom was?
I had seen her in the office previously with Karter.
Okay, do you remember her name?
No,
But you had physically seen her with Karter before?
I have.
And while everybody else in the room is working on Karter, did he say anything else?
I mean, yeah, he kept questioning, is Karter okay? Is he breathing? And he was talking to Mom on the phone and he would say, I can't see, there's too many people in here. I just need you to hurry up and get here. And then he would ask again, you know, he asked several times, was he breathing? And then he would rely that to Mom on the phone and just say, I can't tell, again, there's too many people in here, I need you to get here. Babe, that doesn't matter, I just need you to get here. Babe, that can wait, I just need you to get here. When I asked what Karter's last name was, we were trying to get basic information, he said, then to Mom on the phone, babe, what is his last name?
And you had mentioned you'd seen Karter in the pediatrics.
Okay.
And you remember Mom?
Yes.
She was pregnant?
Yes. Mom and
Now-
Dad, different times.
And that would be biological dad, right?
Yes.
Okay, not the man who brought him in that day.
Correct. I had never seen the man that brought him in that morning.
Right, thank you. Now, this is a pediatrics place. Do you keep medical records?
We did.
And are you familiar with how the medical records are kept?
I
You write notes yourself?
I did.
And you do that because you are a nurse practitioner?
That's correct.
So when you see patients, tell me that process.
Like in our office?
Yes.
Yes. So patients come in, I mean, I see them completely, document as I'm in the room, document when they leave. I fully document like a HPI, which is a history of present illness of what's stated from the parents or caregiver that's going on. Document my full exam, full treatment, diagnosis, any follow-up recommendations.
And have you previously reviewed any medical records for Karter?
At that point, no. I mean, I had seen Karter, so I had created medical records, but I had not reviewed them necessarily.
Well,
Is that what you're asking me?
Let me clarify, that was
Okay.
a little bit confusing, since then, have you reviewed medical records for Karter?
Only with you guys.
So you have.
Yes.
If I were to show you those medical records, would you be able to identify them?
Yes.
May I approach them?
You may.
Ms. Gaddy, if you would.
Tell me what this is. This is our medical record. This is what every kid gets when they come into our office.
For the record, Your Honor, I'm showing Ms. Gaddy what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1. And are these student medical records correct?
That's correct.
And are they regularly kept in the course of business?
Yes.
And you reviewed those medical records?
Yes.
Are those medical records for Karter?
Yes.
Karter Ambrose? And are they a fair and accurate representation of those medical records?
Yes.
Have they been changed or altered in any way?
No.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will tender into evidence State's Exhibit 1 medical records for Karter Ambrose.
They're admitted.
All right, Ms. Gaddy, if you would take a look at those. Before this date, the date of November 17th of 2020, he had been brought into the office. Right.
Yes.
What are some of the things that he had been previously seen for?
Cough, runny nose, low-grade fever. This one looks like he had been sick and just needed to kind of be cleared to go back to the sitter. Swollen mouth. Looked like he had eaten something maybe that caused an allergic reaction or swelling. Ear infection.
Make sure you're speaking up for me.
Okay, I'm sorry. Cough, breathing heavy, runny nose. That was a well child check on that one. Diarrhea and cough. We had some chest x-ray results that Mom was called back about. Cough, runny nose. These are just like inhaler refills for his inhalers. Hand, foot, and mouth. Cough with a history of asthma. Well child check. Rash. Refills. Runny nose and breathing issues. Recheck ears, bump on his left butt cheek. Cough. Ear recheck. Cough. Cough and pulling the ears. Cough and sneezing. Bug bites. Cough, congestion, breathing hard. Runny nose and congestion. Well child check. And fever and congestion.
Ms. Gaddy? So these would be, say, breathing problems, stuff that you would see for a small child.
That's right.
Nothing further at this time, Judge?
Mr. Group, she's with you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Gaddy. Are you still working for these people?
I am.
And how long have you been there?
10 years. Well, April will be 10 years.
April of next year will
That's
be
right,
10
so
years?
9.5.
Okay. And all those documents that you looked through as far as State's Exhibit 1, did you help, in the course of your employee, help generate all of that?
Not all, but some. Some of the visits where I saw Carter,
Okay.
but not all.
Would there be some times that only you would see Carter, or you and one of the doctors?
Most of the time it would be that I would see Carter unless it would, I mean, if it were my visit, I would see him unless I felt the need to pull the doctor in on something.
Okay, all right. So how many doctors currently work there?
There are 4 doctors and 3 nurse practitioners.
Okay, tell me who the doctor, in November of 2020, who were the doctors there?
Okay, Dr. Robert Ford, Dr. Jessica Ford, Dr. Jill Waters.
All right.
The 4th one has been added since then.
And the documents that you have in this packet of papers reflects visits that Ms. Davis had with the child with either you or either one of the 4 doctors or with Dr. Waters, is that right?
Or the other nurse practitioners in the office.
All right, or the practical, okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Now, do you know when this child was born?
I don't, I mean, I can look at a date of birth on here, but.
January the 14th of 2018, does that sound about right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And at the time that the child was born, was your facility used as primary care for this child?
That's right.
Pardon?
When he was born?
Right.
I'm not sure when he started seeing, that's when his first well visit was.
All right. And you were aware, are you not, that he was hospitalized less than a week into his life because he was having breathing problems, is that right?
Yeah, I'm not aware of that, no.
Okay. Do you know if Dr. Waters was involved in that?
Can't attest to that.
Okay. But nonetheless, there's plenty of evidence in there that this child had an asthma problem, is that right?
That's correct.
And a lot of other problems too, is that right?
I mean, we saw him most often for asthma, like cough, congestion, and cold
All right.
symptoms.
All right.
I wasn't aware of any other medical problems.
Okay. And you don't know of any other medical problems, do you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Were you aware that during the majority of this time that Carter was a patient at your place, that Ms. Davis lived with the child right down the road? Does that mean anything to you? If someone moves right next to where your doctor's office is at?
Objection, speculation.
Objection sustained.
Oh, I thought about that. And Ms. Gaddy, on the date that November the 17th of 2020, were you there when the child was brought in?
I was.
And where were you located at physically?
When he walked through the front door, I was in the office, in the back of our office.
All right. And were you called upon to go check on the child?
When the nurse hollered for help, yes, I got help.
Okay. And who was it that hollered for help?
Casey Cochran.
And where was the child taken to?
Exam room 4.
And you went in there with whom?
Amy Wood, another nurse practitioner.
And is that when Dr. Robert Ford went in?
No, sir. Amy Wood went ahead and went into the room, and Casey looked at us and said he's unresponsive, I need the doctor. So that's when I went and got the doctors and left the room.
All right. And at some point in time, who was it that called 911? Or do you know?
I want to say there were maybe 2 people that called, but I'm not sure exactly who it was.
And at some point in time, did EMS eventually show up?
Yes.
Do you know how long from the time that EMS was there was it from when the child first arrived at your place?
I'm not aware of that. I don't know the time frame.
Okay. Once the child was taken by EMS, did you have any other care for the child?
No.
Just a second. saw Karter that morning, did you notice anything alarming in his behavior or his condition?
He was unresponsive.
And I take it that you carried on a conversation with this man, Mr. Benton?
I did,
Did you?
I did,
And he told, you knew who Karter was, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. And as a result of that, I mean, your office could just pull up his, could go to his page or whatever, and you would know what to look for, is that right?
Once we had appropriate identifying factors, we could. But, I mean, we see a lot of Carters.
Okay.
So like just him walking in the door, we would not be able to state this is his
Okay.
full name, date of birth. But we would have access to that, yes.
Did you have an opportunity to talk to Ms. Davis on FaceTime?
No, I was sitting here, the man that brought Carter in was directly beside me, and she was on FaceTime on his phone
Okay.
beside me. I never spoke to her on FaceTime.
And you were aware at that time she was about an hour away?
I wasn't sure where she was.
I mean, was it indicated to you that she was an hour away?
No, it wasn't.
I mean, you didn't know where she was?
I did not.
Okay. And did you have a chance to, did she come to your place of business and talk to you afterwards?
She did not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else for her?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Gaddy, what are the symptoms of an asthma attack?
Cough, there's obvious signs, nasal flaring, retractions, cough, wheeze,
What about throwing up?
not of an asthma attack, no.
For bowel movements?
No.
None for his witness, Judge.
Mr. Greer?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Gaddy. You may be excused. You're free to go or stay as you wish. You can leave the documents right there.
How are you employed, Ms. Kelly?
I work for a hospice now, but
Okay.
I did work for Primary Pediatrics.
Okay, you used to work for Primary Pediatrics. When did you work for them?
2017, maybe 2020,
Okay.
maybe 2019.
Okay. For Primary Pediatrics?
Yes,
All right.
because my youngest was
Or
4.
were you working for them November 17th?
Yes,
Okay, so sometime after.
yes.
Okay. And what did you do for Primary Pediatrics?
I was a float nurse, one of the float doctors.
What is a float nurse?
I helped with basically anything. I took calls for the doctors. I helped with the nurse practitioner who was helping one of the doctors.
Okay. And I had mentioned November 17th of 2020. Do you recall that date?
Yes.
What do you recall about that date?
We had a very bad case come in, pediatric case come in, of a little boy. It was lifeless when he came in.
Okay. And do you remember what time it was?
It was in the morning time.
In the morning? Okay. So you said it was a very bad case. What were you doing that morning?
I was in my little cubby where I sit as a float nurse, and I was getting ready for the day, so I think it was right after we opened, and I was getting ready for the day, and I heard a lot of commotion and yelling, and one of our other nurses was coming into the supply room to grab code supplies.
Okay. And at some point, did you figure out kind of what was happening?
Yes, so
And what was happening?
I went out. There was basically a code in place. A pediatric came in, either did not have a heartbeat or lost a heartbeat on the table.
Okay. And you say code. What does code mean?
Code blue, sorry.
Okay. What is code?
No, they're not breathing, they don't have a heartbeat.
Okay. And do you know who it was who was code blue?
At the time, I did not until I went
Okay.
into the room.
Did you see at all who?
Yes, it
Okay.
was very small, pediatric, African-American boy. Very pale, especially his feet and his hands, and just very lifeless.
Okay. So you heard yelling. Where did you see the child?
On the bed when I finally got to the room.
Okay. And do you recall which room that was?
It was on Dr. Ford's side, I believe room 4.
Okay. And what did you go into the room?
Yes.
And what did you do when you went in the room?
I assessed the situation. I tried to ask the man who brought him in. At the time, I didn't know who he was until I asked questions. I asked him some questions, who he was, what happened, and then I started working on the child.
Okay, when you started working on the child, what did you do?
I tried to place an IV.
Okay. And were others in the room with you?
Yes.
Okay. Who all was in the room with you?
Dr. Robert Ford was in the room, Jessica Woods was in the room, she's RN, Danielle Gaddy was in the room. The boyfriend, we thought was the stepdad at the time, he was in the room,
Okay.
and then the little boy.
So you said that you tried to put an IV in him. What were other people doing?
CPR was in place, oxygen was being placed on. I know there was others outside calling 911. There was just a lot in commotion, and then trying to figure out what was going on with them.
Okay. And, I mean, there was a lot of trying to figure out what was going on, so, I mean, did you kind of figure out what was going on?
It was hard. It was from just bits and pieces of the story, but from what I gathered, he either had some breathing issues and was brought in, and I knew there was more to it than what was in our face.
Okay, so let me say this. Do you know who the man was who brought the child in?
At the time, no, but
Okay.
I believe he was the boyfriend of the mother.
Did you have any interactions with him while he was there with the child?
Yes, I tried to ask the child's last name. I believe he was on the phone with the mom, and he had to ask the last name, date of birth, and all the information.
And so you overheard them conversing?
Mhm.
Okay, was anything else said?
She sounded like she was at work, and he was telling her not to worry about something and just get here. He just kept saying, don't worry about that, get here.
Did he say anything about the child's symptoms prior to bringing the child in?
That he was throwing up and just having some breathing problems and very lethargic.
Did he say, he just said the child was lethargic, you said the child was doing anything else?
I don't recall.
Do you know how long y'all worked on the child?
Maybe 30, 45 minutes before EMS came.
Okay, before, so did somebody call 911?
Yes.
Okay, and so then EMS came?
Mhm.
Okay, and then what happened when the EMS got there?
EMS came, assessed the scene, took him to their truck and took him to the hospital.
Okay, do you know where they took him?
Peach County, I believe.
Did you do anything kind of after they took the child?
I just remember we all just kind of debriefed and tried to figure out what exactly just happened and did our statements while it was fresh on our brain.
And let me ask you this, do you recall the man who brought the child in, if he said anything about the child losing consciousness?
I believe so when he came in because he said he had been sick for a couple of days and had been vomiting and having diarrhea, and so he was kind of lethargic and in and out of it.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Group, she's with you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Kelly, my name is Jeff Groove. I'm a lawyer for Warner Robins. I have a few questions to ask of you representing Ms. Davis in this matter. Is it your recollection that this child was presented at your office on November the 17th of 2020 at about 8:48 in the morning? And I'm looking at subsequently you wrote a note or were asked to write down what your version of what happened was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Since then, and I think you've been to see the district attorney's office, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I take it that you went over this statement that you wrote.
Yes, sir.
And once again, at that particular point in time, you were asking, or you heard shouts from either a nurse practitioner or Dr. Ford because you were on this hall, is that right?
I was in the vicinity. I wasn't technically on his hall.
All right. But nonetheless, you answered the call, and was the child already on the bed in room number 4?
Yes, sir.
Did the child have any clothes on?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you look at the child, see if the child had any bruises or?
I did look at his arms when I went to do his IV and his legs, because they were very cold and kind of pale. But I didn't see any noticeably like bruises or cuts or anything like that.
You didn't see any bruises on his arms or his legs?
His arms or his legs.
Did you by chance have an opportunity to look at his chest to see if he had any bruises or discoloration or disfigurement or anything on his?
I don't remember because they were doing CPR. There was so much going on. I was trying to focus on trying to get him fluids.
Likewise, you couldn't tell us if there were any marks or anything on his back?
No.
But there was nothing that caused you any concern as far as any bruises is concerned?
No, no, sir.
And I take it that they were trying to do, Robert Ford was doing chest compressions, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that Dr. Jessica Ford was trying to, and Amy Wood were trying to put a mask on the child of some sort. Is it called an ambu mask?
For oxygen, yes, sir.
Oxygen. And that was not going very well, was it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Had you ever, did you come to know who this child was?
Yes.
Karter Ambrose, is that right?
Yes.
Had you remember ever treating him before?
No, sir.
Okay. I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, do you know if he was a regular patient at your office?
From his records, yes, but I was not ever in his care.
Okay.
Not that I can recall.
At any point in time, did you have the occasion, we've seen several medical records of Karter. Have you had a chance to go over them?
I have not.
Now, let me ask you this. There was some testimony about the child had thrown up or vomited some previously. You heard that from the man that brought the child in.
Yes, sir.
Did you see any evidence of that?
I don't recall. I don't think so. I think he had said he had bathed him before coming in.
Okay. But did you smell any vomit on him?
I don't remember.
For the most part, did the child appear to be clean?
He did.
The child was unconscious, you say, the entire time that you saw him?
Yes, sir.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
And was it your testimony that before EMS came to get the child, that was 30 to 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minute period of time, is that right?
About that, yes, sir.
And then EMS came, were you outside when the child was taken by EMS?
I was not.
You have no knowledge as to how long EMS, if you had the child outside before they took off?
No, sir.
Had no way of knowing. Did you ever get that IV in his arm?
I did.
You did? You had written in your statement that there was an attempt made to run fluids, but the IV blew. What does that mean?
Meaning once the fluid, so the needle was, it was in the vein, and then once the fluids were going through, the vein wasn't strong enough to hold it, so it exploded basically.
It did what?
It like expands. It pops the vein basically.
You wrote down that it was DC. What's that mean?
Discontinued. So it was taken out.
Discontinued, okay. Just a second, John, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else, counsel?
Chief Peace.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. You're free to go or stay as you wish.
Okay, Ms. James, what do you do?
I'm an RN,
How long have you been an RN?
16 years.
And where do you work?
I currently work at Habit Home Health.
Have you always worked there?
No, it just started.
Where did you work previously?
Peach County ER.
as an RN?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do for Beach County ER as an RN?
I was the charge nurse for day shift.
Explain to me what a charge nurse is.
I'm responsible for all the patients in the emergency room as well as the nurses and anything emergent that comes in.
So you're a nurse but also kind of management too?
Yes,
Thank you.
I was at that time.
Thank you for clarification. Right, I'm going to turn your attention back to November of 2020. Did you work at Beach County ER then?
Yes.
And do you remember a small African-American child being brought in at some point?
There was one brought in, yes, unresponsive. Is that?
Tell me what you remember from that.
EMS called in reports, which we could hear in the ER, and we respond back, and they said they were coming in with a approximate 2-year-old infant that was not breathing and had no pulse.
And did you observe the infant yourself?
Yes.
Tell me what you observed.
If it was not breathing and did not have a pulse, the baby was cold to the touch. His clothes were wet. We don't. I mean, he was just covered from head to toe in water.
And do you recall if any ER personnel, nurses, anyone actually worked on the child?
I do not recall if we actually worked the child or not because he was already deceased at that point, and there had been some time frame in between.
So essentially what you observed was an unresponsive, lifeless child.
Yes.
Nothing further for this witness, Judge.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. James, good afternoon. Ms. James, my name is Jeff Grove. I'm a lawyer from Warner Robins, here representing Ms. Davis in this matter. You say this was on the morning of November the 17th, is that right?
I'm not sure of the time frame.
Okay, but it was in the morning, or the morning shift, is that right?
Day shift.
This, about 9:30 in the morning, sound about right?
I honestly do not know the exact time.
Do you know if it, either at the time of this incident or subsequent to the incident, that you put together or prepared any sort of documents that you would be kept by the hospital as to what happened?
Yes, absolutely. The hospital should have that documentation from that day.
And have you talked previously with the district attorney's office about what your testimony would be today?
No, sir. I mean, he subpoenaed me and we talked today, yes.
Oh, okay. Now, I take it that the child came and the hospital, your hospital is right there off of John L. Sullivan Road, is that right?
Yes.
In Byron, are you familiar?
It's off 49 connector.
Okay, near Hauser Mill Road, is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
All right, and the child was transported by Houston EMS, is that correct?
I do believe so, yes,
I
sir.
believe so. Okay, and were you there waiting for the ambulance to get there, or?
Yes, sir.
When the child was brought in, was the child wearing any clothes?
The clothes that he did have on were wet and soaked with what we assumed was
Okay.
water.
What was it? Did he have pants on or just?
I do not recall if they were pants or shorts.
Okay, but you recall that he was just wet?
Yes, sir.
You don't know if he just had a diaper on or anything?
No, it wasn't just a diaper. It was
Did
either
you
shorts
notice
or-
any blood?
I did not know, sir.
Did you have an opportunity to see the child's arms and legs?
No, sir.
You didn't?
I don't understand what you're
I
asking.
mean, did you look at the child or examine the child yourself?
Yes, as well as the doctor.
All right, but but you made an observation, did you not, as to the condition of the child?
Yes.
Did the child have any bruises on him?
I did not know any bruises on the child.
And did you you notice any blood coming from the child, whether it be from anywhere, from the nose, ears, eyes, anywhere?
I honestly do not recall.
Do you recall as to whether or not you were required yourself to do any tests or examinations of the child? You yourself?
Not me, myself, the doctor would.
Would that have been Dr. Becker?
Yeah, he was on staff that day.
Okay. I mean, do you recall as to which doctor?
It was, no, sir, I don't. It was 6 years ago.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. I mean, was the hospital, was the emergency room busy that morning, do you recall?
Emergency room can be busy, all times,
Sure.
any time.
But
But
on
I'm
this-
not sure
Okay, you just don't
of how
recall?
busy we were or were not.
Okay. And do you know as to whether or not there was anyone of the child's family that was with him at that time?
None of the child's family were with him at that time.
Okay, did any of the child's family arrive after the child was pronounced deceased?
I cannot tell you, I'm not sure. The officers that came with or followed the ambulance, as well as our officers on scene, they keep us from all that.
I got you. And were you there when the child was pronounced deceased?
Yes,
Is your recollection was it was 9:38 in the morning?
if that's what was documented, yes, sir.
Okay, and do you recall that, or you just agreeing?
As I said, it's been 6 years.
Well, sure.
I just go on my documentation from those events.
Okay, and once you received a subpoena to testify, were you asked to, or did you on your own go back over whatever notes or anything that you wrote down for that day?
No, sir.
So you
Everything
just
would have been
basically-
kept within the hospital itself. I cannot access those records on my own.
Just secretary. That's all